bro, being 40 living in your parents' house, and you're not finna get nothing in life. Everybody's gonna see you as a bum. Why? Because you're not that relevant.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
I got a question. You ever felt like you're going through life and it's like you're in a simulation? Like, okay, when I say like a simulation, it means every day just kind of seems the same. It's a routine. You feel like you're watching everything happen around you, but you're not actually engaging in what's happening around you. It's just the same cycle. You wake up, do all the things throughout the day, eat, sleep, shower, repeat. Like you just over and over, it's the same cycle. And I feel like it's really frustrating sometimes to try to be super disciplined. It's just really frustrating. Obviously, it's something you have to do, but that doesn't stop it from being difficult. That doesn't stop it from being boring, monotonous, and sometimes the slap in the face of reality, in the sense that you may watch TV shows or movies, and those fantasies or those augmented realities, if you will, they seem cool, right? You get to see the main character seems to get everything they want. They're just living life. Sometimes they have ups and downs, but the downs always become an up. Like the writers just find a way to make the main character's life just seem picture perfect, like literally picture perfect. And then, sometimes you look at your own life and you feel like that could be you, but it's just not right now. Or there's times where, people are like, hey, just stay to the grind, stick focused, stay to the path, keep your head down. And sometimes, you just working and working and keep your head down. And sometimes you look up and you just want to ask yourself, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing all this? Why do I not see the rewards? Or why, if I'm doing all the work and putting in all the effort associated with, going to the gym, being consistent, doing my schoolwork, going to work, stacking bread, not going out, diet, whatever the case may be, doing all the right things. Why am I not seeing the fruits of my labor? Why am I not like the people online? Why don't I have a Hellcat? Why don't I have a Lamborghini? Why don't I have a a baddie at home? Those are things that it kind of just run through your mind, especially if you've been doing it for like several weeks to months on end. It just seems like a cycle. You're just like, bro, what is the point? Right. And, you know, I think a lot of maturity is really, at least in my mind, maturity is really about accepting the fact that life is not entertaining. It's just not. And, when you're 19 or 18 and you're in college, that first week, rush week, you see all these cute girls you get to talk to, parties, classes seem light. The first week of school, they just hand you a syllabus, and that's pretty much the end of class right there. There's no homework. There's nothing to really do. You get to go out and hang with all these new people. Your parents aren't around. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I even knew some people who, they were underage and they were still finding ways to drink. So the age limit for drinking at 21, that seemed to go out the window. People trying whatever they want, virgins losing their virginity, people who weren't virgins trying out new stuff, other people, like it's just all types of stuff can happen in college, right? At 19, and you kind of feel invincible and unstoppable and like you have all the time in the world and all the freedom in the world, and life is just supposed to be one giant party. And you go through freshman year and ups and downs. You're like, whoa, like if you talk to people from college, they'll be like, man, my freshman year was crazy, right? And then you ask them how sophomore year was. They're like, oh, it was a little difficult, but I mean, it was still cool, had my fun. By the time I hit junior, senior year, or grad school, bro, these stories are very different. They're 100% not the same. People not going out as much. People like stay up till 2 a.m. to go party. And nah, we're not doing all that. I'm gonna be in the crib. It's like it's gonna be, hey, me and Shorty gonna be in the crib and watch this movie, and then I gotta go to sleep because I gotta work or I gotta do something in the morning. Like talking about I ain't as young as I was, right? And so the narrative just changes over time as you mature and go through those experiences, because you start to realize even the entertaining parts of life, if you do it so often, even that gets boring, right? Because in life, a lot of the times what we're doing is we're trying to keep a balance between highs and lows, right? If you're too low for too long, that's when you get depressed. If you're too high for too long and you start reaching and trying to find ways to get an even higher high, and I mean, this is not stock trading, so a higher high and a higher low is only for reading candlestick charts. If you're looking for a higher high, you're probably doing something or some kind of a substance, right? And that's not safe. Would not recommend under any circumstance. So when you're going through life, you start to realize that even the things that are kind of like those dopamine or adrenaline boosts, they're only supposed to be experienced for a short amount of time. It's like in a race when you're like, let's say Fast and Furious, for example, you're going, you hit the nitrous, it's only supposed to last a little bit of the time, and then you go back to your baseline speed because you overheat the engine, the car will explode, you'll lose control of it, like a whole bunch of things that happen if it's just you driving around the whole racetrack on nitrous, just like some family, like That's not cool. You don't want to do that. So when you start to notice and realize that life is not about being entertained, and a lot of life is really going to be boring and mundane and routine, when you do have those opportunities to go outside of it, it's like a rush and a euphoria because you're just like, oh man, I'm so used to this. Now, what even if something slightly different, it seems so much cooler because you're so used to this. Any blip is a change that you're not used to. But if your life runs like this, or is always like this, or always like this, man, even a slight dip, you'll still seem down, or even a high or a slight drop, you're still like, bro, I'm trying to get higher, right? And you're not going to be satisfied, basically. And that's what I think maturity is really about understanding, is that being satisfied is really about balancing your responsibilities and the mundane with highs and lows, not staying at any one period for too long, right? And I'm not gonna lie, for the past month, school started in August. It's the third week of September, so this should be week, I don't know, 4 or 5. I've been head down in the books studying like crazy. And grad classes are not harder in the sense that you have a ton of homework. They're harder in the sense that, bro, this stuff is difficult to understand. Okay. I've been doing engineering classes since I was 16, taking advanced math and sciences, dual enrollment in high school. I've been taking college classes. It seems like forever, about 8 years now, on and off, just between while in high school and in college. And bro, these grad classes are kicking my backside, bro. Like it's tough. Okay, it's really tough. And I think what I failed to do and realize is I did not set up boundaries or schedule breaks, right? So I'm working during the week and I'm trying to catch up in the weekends. Working during the week, catch up in the weekends. Work. I've been going like that for so long. It's to the point now we're coming up on midterm season, and bro, I'm just burnt out. I don't want to do homework. I don't want to log into classes. I don't want to go to classes. And in grad school, they make it real easy, especially with COVID, because now all your classes have a hybrid option. Like you can really cook up a bunch of excuses to your professor. But in grad school, they don't really care. They're like, you chose to be here. Undergrad, maybe your parents forced you to come here, or you graduated, you got a scholarship, you got to get a job. They're like, bro, after you get that 4 year degree, we don't really care why you're here. It's up to you why you're here. I mean, you can shovel out this money and fail this class if you want to and get kicked out the program, but that's on you. Like, I got my degree. I'm teaching you. That's how I got it. So they're like, we don't care. I mean, we care if you want it. If we care if you care, but if you don't care, we don't care. Like, it's a very adult minded environment. And again, you just have to know what you want in life associated with getting to that next level. And I know by letting the lows of life in school and just being a little too locked in, it's kind of been stressing me out and really frustrating me. And the icing on the cake happened yesterday when I was driving home. Now it was raining earlier in the day, and then in the evening the road was still slick, but it wasn't raining, right? I'm driving back home on the highway because my school's in the city. I live in the suburbs, so I'm just commuting for my last year, save money, time, and space, right? So commuting for my last year, and I'm driving home, and I'm in the middle lane, and we're on the expressway, and I want to say it's 3 cars ahead of me. So there's mine, and then there's 3 more in front of it. So whatever orientation you want to call that, that guy brakes, the guy behind him brakes, and the girl in front of me brake, right? So we all slam on the brakes, and my car, it brakes, but the tires aren't gripping the road because there's that thin layer of water, right? The hydroplane effect, right? So I'm trying to steer and get out the way a little bit. I ended up crashing into the girl in front of me. I hit her right bumper with the left front of my car. And I mean, honestly, my car looks worse than hers, and thankfully nobody's hurt. But it's honestly, when it first happened, I tried to be cool, get all the information, talk to my parents about what happened. And I was really just pissed about the whole situation and how it was going to be a reflection on me. People are going to think I'm a bad driver. Am I going to knock out my record? They're going to suspend my license. Like, what's going to happen? I'm thinking me, 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 me. And that I'm having a little self-pity party. In reality, part of maturity is realizing it's not about you. It never has been. It never will be. Like, I promise you, if you're at a job or you're on a team or you're doing anything and you think you are the shit, bro, and like they just can't replace you, go ahead and quit or disappear for a week, or mess around and get suspended. I promise you, you will quickly realize you are not that important to to whatever they got going on. They will move somebody in so fast, it's not even funny. And if you don't want to, I wouldn't even recommend doing that. Just look at a sports team like Kentucky Wildcats, right? Kentucky, Duke, and UNC, any D1 program, right? They got a star guy one day, he gets drafted. Guess what? They go find another star. Why? Because there's a whole bunch of them in the galaxy. You look up, they're all over the place. He's not the only one lighting up the sky. Like, they can get another star. It's a dime a dozen. Just like if somebody gets an allegation and they fall off the radar, I'd be like, oh, dang, what happened to that guy? Oh, I heard his name in a minute. Why? Because you're not that relevant. You're just not that relevant. And you really have to realize you are part of a bigger thing. You aren't the thing, you're a part of the bigger thing. Right. And so, maybe when you were younger, you had disappointments. Your mom was like, oh, we're just gonna let them cope, or some ice cream. People are like, oh, there, you'll get better. But ain't no Calvary, nobody coming to save you. You're a grown man. You got to figure it out now. Like, especially, let's say something happened. It's on a Tuesday. Guess what happens on Wednesday, buddy? Work in school. We do not give a darn what happened. It is time to get to it, right? So again, you have to self-regulate and moderate your own life because you're an adult now. You're a grown man. You grown woman. You got to figure this out. Because if you don't figure it out, you be living in your parents' house for freaking ever. And bro, being 40 living in your parents' house, and you're not finna get nothing in life. Everybody's gonna see you as a bum.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
So you really, really, really have to look at how life is going, evaluate your highs and lows, be able to identify when you're stressed and you're frustrated or you're focusing on the wrong things. Take a step back. Sometimes you zoomed in too much. You gotta take a step back so you can see all the details, figure out where you're doing. Because again, it's like working head down. You got to look up and realize like what's going on around you. You might have been head down going this way. We need you to go that way, bro. So you head up like this. We like, my nigga, you got to go this way. So I'm gonna need you to turn and pivot. But if you don't pick your head up, bro, you gonna keep doing that until kingdom come, and we gonna be like, hey, he's gone. Anybody else would like to be hired for the role of going this way because we don't know what the heck he's doing. Like you're not paying attention basically, and that's the big message I want to give you. Two big messages. One, maturity is about realizing life is not about living on the high, the low, or in the middle. It's about balance. And the second thing is you have got to stay focused. You have got to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. You cannot be so head down and laser focused on what you're doing that you forget to live life. Go outside, touch grass, smell the coffee that you're drinking in the morning. You have to take time to experience life. You cannot work yourself into a rut. Maturity is about balance. Those would be the two things I would say. That's the end of the video. Until next time, you know where to find me. Shoulders be shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, peace.